You are listening to the 2025 LLC Summer Services from Outlook, Saskatchewan.
The first live service has just concluded. We heard Ron Hunga of Monaga, Minnesota give a sermon. You are listening to the broadcast of the 2025 LLC Summer Services live from the Jim Cook Recreational Complex in Outlook, Saskatchewan. My name is Clara Piernes. I will be your on-air host for the remaining part of the morning. In the studio with me this morning are broadcast technicians Blaine Simonson, Ryan Rintamaki, and lead technician Aaron Nicola. Our on-site coordinator this morning is Eva Nicola. The next service will be broadcast at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. This will be a children's service. The preparation and organization of a big service events such as this requires much support through prayer, time, and financial resources. We invite you, our listeners, to contribute to the benefit of these services. Donations can be made on Venmo, Tithely, or the LLC website. We want to remind you that these services are being broadcast online in different ways. The audio version is broadcast through the LLC website using CastHost. You can also join through the YouTube live streaming of LLC's YouTube channel. The visual display shows a video feed of the minister speaking from the Jim Cook Recreational Complex and the song words during service songs. The links to these online broadcasts can be found on the LLC website at llchurch.org. Additional information about our weekend events, including the weekend schedule, can also be found on the LLC website, on our Facebook and Instagram feeds, or the Hearken app. We will now listen to Song of Zion 560, Here as a Flickering Candle, from the LLC Hearken Only album, Songbird. You just heard Song of Zion 560, Here is a Flickering Candle, from the LLC Hearken Only album Songbird. We have a Hearken app update for you. Are you using the latest version of Hearken? The LLC works with Hearken's developers on a regular basis to maintain an enjoyable user experience within the app. We are now able to organize Hearken content into subcategories. For example, you may notice that when accessing the Listen section, the podcast category now has each podcast organized into its own subcategories. The download feature has also recently been updated. Before, if any user logged out of Hearken, they would need to manually re-download any previously downloaded content after logging back into the app. Now, if you have downloaded content, it will not be lost if you log out of the app and log back in. We now have the ability to share Hearken updates to current subscribers via email. The plan for this is to share updates about new features, bug fixes, and any additional information that Hearken users may need for an enjoyable user experience. We will now listen to Song of Zion 120, Our Morning Sun of Beauty, from the LLC album Children Sing of Their Friend 1. You just heard Song of Zion 120, Our Morning Sun of Beauty, from the LLC album Children Sing of Their Friend 1. A live children's service will be broadcast at 10:30 a.m. Prairie Shores Camp in Saskatchewan, Canada, serves believers from across North America, but mostly in the Canadian provinces and the northern United States. The next program of the We Gather Here series gives a picture of this newest of the camp centers. Included in the program is a recording of a song written by Natasha Warwick for the dedication of the camp. It uses the metaphor of the believer as a prairie flower, the crocus that blooms in rocky, sandy soil, buffeted by winds, yet grows and flourishes. Perhaps the gentle heavenly breezes and God's living water, referenced in the song, can be felt at Prairie Shores Camp.
Lake Diefenbaker, 500 miles of shoreline, average depth of 71 feet, filled with trophy rainbow trout and burbot, among others. Water source for 60% of Saskatchewan's water needs. Favorite summer recreation spot. And home to Prairie Shores Camp, the newest of the camp centers that serve North American believers. I am Laura Piernis, member of the Outlook Saskatchewan congregation and enthusiastic camp participant and staff member. I sat down with Yuri Warwick, the director of the camp, to talk about the story of this beloved facility. Hi, Yuri.
Hi, Laura.
So, when did the search for our permanent camp in our area begin?
It began in the early 80s. At that time, we were having camps at different facilities, some facility in Outlook that we would rent, and then we actually had a camp in Arthur Simonson's pasture. And at that time, we started searching for a new camp facility of our own.
Wow, so this has been going on for a long time. What were some of the locations that were considered?
Well, there was kind of interesting. There was a location right by the Dunblane Church. In fact, it was a CNR dam that was built for the railway. And Les Holmstrom, he's one of the members of Dunblane. He actually even drew up some plans for a camp utilizing that facility there, the CNR dam. Yeah, and another location that was looked at, and this is in 1995, was at Hitchcock Hideaway, and coincidentally, that's right beside our current camp facility.
When it's not God's time, things don't happen, and now here we have our camp today.
Yes, that's correct. And we also looked for different camp facilities out on Lake Diefenbaker, which is one of the biggest lakes in the local area. There was even a couple of the local guys here that went on a boat trip just around the lake to see if they could find anything. But again, yeah, it wasn't God's time in either three of those occasions, and now it is.
Okay, so what are the congregations that are in the support area for Prairie Shores?
Okay, the congregations are Dunblane, which is the closest, and then Outlook, those are both in Saskatchewan, and then Lethbridge, Alberta, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and Williston, North Dakota.
How did the site for our camp become available?
So this is a fairly old site that was built in the 60s, and it was a Girl Guide facility. And Girl Guides, they actually lost a lot of participation over the years, and it just wasn't feasible for them to maintain the camp anymore, so it came up for sale. And we started looking at it then.
When we got the camp, it wasn't quite suitable for our needs. So what were the changes or additions that had to be made to it?
Okay, so I'm just gonna maybe give a little bit of history here. So the camp board was formed in 2017 when we were starting to look at this, and it started to look like we were gonna get this facility. And then in November 2018, it was confirmed that yes, we have this. And a decision was made that we were going to host confirmation. And that decision was made in November, and we didn't have much time to get the facility ready. So the things that we needed to do, I guess, first we needed to plan it all out to figure how we were going to do this. But the lodge needed a lot of renovating. And in fact, the floor in there was coming apart, and there was a fear that there was asbestos in there. But we dealt with that. So there was the lodge. The lodge needed a lot of renovation. It needed new roofing. It needed paint. We moved some stuff around, so we had a decent kitchen facility and bathrooms. And so there was a lot of work there. We built two dorm facilities, one girls and one boys, and they each had 40 beds in them. We needed a new well. We needed a new septic tank. And we also needed bathhouses. So there was a lot of work that happened in that first year. And then later we put up a volleyball court, a basketball court, a concession stand, and a dock. And looking back at this, Laura, it's actually, the feat almost seems it was impossible to achieve that in that amount of time. And I went back and I looked at the numbers. And for those of you who are construction people, we spent about 8,000 man hours in 3 months of Saturdays. So you could imagine 8,000 man hours is a year's worth of work for 4 people. So we can tell like that was definitely God had his hand in that.
Yeah, that was quite the amazing time. The women were going out there and bringing, having food for everyone, and there was big crews out there every Saturday. I think it was probably a lot of fun, though, too. Yes,
definitely. It was a lot of fun. I was able to sit in on the planning committee, and we had a lot of fun just planning it out, and just being able to be on the camp at the camp when there was over 200 people doing work, and everyone was busy and everyone was happy, and lunch was served, and it was just amazing.
Yeah. Now here we are enjoying camps here for the last, has it been 5 years or something, or a little bit longer? How about this past camp season? What did it look like as far as the number of camps, the length of the season, the names of the camps, etc.?
Okay, so the number of camps, we had 12 local camps. We had 2 LLC sponsored camps. So there was youth camps. I believe there was 3 of those. There's youth days, so it's young and older youth days. There was older singles camp, music camp, mother's camp, mother and daughter's camp, and father and son's camp. And the season begins, and this is just about every year, it begins in late June and ends at the end of September.
So it's a little bit different than some of the other camp centers in the LLC, because our kids go to school until the very end of June. So we don't start our camps until around that time, although couples camp maybe is sometimes in the middle of June, or youth music camp, correct?
No, that's right. There is times when we fit in an older camp into that June month.
Okay. Yeah. So what are the future plans for Prairie Shores?
So the future plans, we've been as a board, we've looked at a lot of different stuff. We're thinking of a lodge. We'd like to have a bigger lodge facility there so we could house more events. And we'd also like to build a caretaker's cabin. But again, these will come in God's time. Mm-hmm.
You want to push
The camp season at PSC goes from about mid-June through the end of September. The most anticipated camps of the year are most likely the youth camps held in August. Campers and staff members alike enjoy the benefits of our very own camp.
So these boys got to go to day camp for the first time this year. So could you tell me your name and what was your favorite part about going to day camp?
My name is Ethan and I liked swimming.
Swimming, okay. What was your favorite part?
My name is Corbin and my favorite part was candy.
What camp did you go to and what was your favorite part about it?
My name is Amy. I went to youth camp too and my favorite part about it was sauna swimming. My name is Malia. I went to youth camp too and my favorite part about it was playing bump.
My name is Lydia and I live in Dunblane.
So Lydia, you had the chance to go to youth camp in both Elbow Camp, the rented facility that the Believers here used for many years, and now at Prairie Shores Camp. What are your memories from Elbow Camp?
The memory that stands out is going down to the beach in a big van. And there's a whole bunch of us girls. I only went for day camps. There's a whole bunch of us girls piled in the van, and because we had to drive to the lake, and it was just chaos.
Why was it chaos?
Because there were so many girls, and we were all just standing up and laughing, and just it was just havoc.
And fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you've been able to come to Prairie Shores Camp for the rest of your youth camp career, what have you particularly enjoyed about this camp?
The fact that we own it, and it's all Believers, and then the beach is right there, and we can go sauna swimming.
Sauna swimming is a very big favorite here. Is there anything else that is really fun and that you really enjoy about this facility?
The dorms is just one big dorm, and it's not houses, and we have the volleyball court and basketball and concession and everything.
So there's a lot to do here.
Yeah.
My name is Ann Piernes, and I've worked at Prairie Shores Camp as a big sister. One thing I really enjoy about our camp is the big open outdoor spaces to play capture the flag and hang out with the campers. I also really enjoy the saunas because we can go sauna swimming and have sauna before bed.
The Homey main building, outside dining area, sports courts, swings, dorms, saunas, and beach of Prairie Shores Camp are waiting to be explored and experienced by visitors. Okay, so as the last question here, I'd like to ask you, do you have any greetings or thoughts for someone who's thinking of signing up to come to a camp at Prairie Shores?
Yes, definitely a lot of greetings, and on behalf of the Prairie Shores Camp Board and on behalf of all the camp planners and camp directors, I wish everyone a warm welcome to come to any one of our camps. And you'll see the local Saskatchewan hospitality, and you'll be refreshed in your faith.
Thank you so much for talking with me today, Yuri. Godspeed.
You're welcome, Laura. Godspeed.
Prairie Shores Camp is now the 4th camp center in place to serve believers in North America. You just heard a program in which the director of the camp, Yuri Warwick, was interviewed along with some young campers and one staff member. Natasha Warwick wrote the song, God's Crocus on the Prairie, which was sung at the camp dedication services in 2019 and was included in this piece. Laura Piernes of Outlook Saskatchewan produced the program. Listen to the next segment of the We Gather Here series around 12:18 p.m. local time today. In that program, Kiara Mikola shares her thoughts and interviews her father, Chris Ulioya, about the blessings of living in the congregation in Lethbridge, Alberta. On Tuesday, a new music album called Joyous Wedding Bells was released on Harken to correlate with the music book released last year. We will now hear two pieces from this album, Song of Zion 251, All Gifts That We Receive, Lord, and another song titled Bless, O Lord, This Bride and Bridegroom.
Come from thy hand above, likewise
We just heard Bless, O Lord, this bride and bridegroom, and Song of Zion 251, all gifts that we receive, Lord, from the new LLC album, Joyous Wedding Bells, available on Hearken. I am Clara Piernis. I enjoyed being your host for this first portion of the broadcast. Thank you for listening. Following the service, Selma Oli will be your host for the next part of today. The children's service is about to begin. Mike Kumpala of Newcastle, Colorado, will give the children's sermon. Following that, Hannu Janhunen of Lethbridge, Alberta, will speak.